In a quiet village, Kalen lived a simple life as a blacksmith, crafting tools and weapons. One day, while exploring the roots of a giant tree, he found an ancient sword hidden in the earth. When he touched it, a powerful energy surged through him, awakening a connection to a forgotten past. As he learned from the village elder about a prophecy of a hero destined to save Eldoria, Kalen felt fear and doubt. How could he be that hero? His ordinary life was about to change forever. In a quiet village, nestled among the rolling hills of Eldoria, life moved at a gentle pace. Kalen, a young blacksmith, spent his days forging tools and horseshoes in his small workshop. The rhythmic clang of metal filled the air, a familiar soundtrack to his simple existence. Little did he know that his life was about to change forever. One bright morning, Kalen decided to take a break from his work. He wandered into the nearby woods, seeking solace among the towering trees. As he walked, he felt a strange pull, as if the earth beneath his feet was urging him to go deeper. Curiosity ignited within him, leading him to a colossal tree with roots that twisted like ancient serpents. Kalen knelt down, brushing away the leaves that had gathered over time. His fingers grazed something hard and cold. Digging deeper, he uncovered the hilt of a sword, its metal glinting in the dappled sunlight. A thrill shot through him as he grasped the hilt, and in that instant, a surge of energy coursed through his body. It was as if the very essence of the sword awakened something deep within him. "What is this?" he whispered to himself, heart racing. The air crackled with a power he could not understand, leaving him breathless. Back in the village, Kalen rushed to the home of the village elder, an old man named Eldrin, whose eyes sparkled with wisdom and knowledge. Kalen laid the sword before him, its presence heavy in the dim light. "Ah, the blade of Eldoria," Eldrin murmured, his voice trembling with reverence. "It is said to belong to a hero destined to save our land from darkness." Kalen felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "A hero? I am just a blacksmith. How can I be a hero?" Eldrin's gaze pierced into Kalen's soul. "The prophecy speaks of a chosen one who will wield the sword. You have awakened its power, Kalen. You must embrace this destiny." "But what if I fail?" Kalen's voice wavered, filled with doubt. "What if I am not brave enough?" "Every hero feels fear," Eldrin replied softly. "It is what they do with that fear that defines them. You hold the fate of Eldoria in your hands." Kalen left the elder's home, the weight of the sword heavy on his mind. The villagers went about their daily lives, unaware of the storm brewing in his heart. What if he could not live up to their expectations? What if darkness truly threatened Eldoria? Days turned into restless nights as Kalen struggled to comprehend his newfound responsibility. He felt like a simple man caught in an extraordinary tale, a character in a story he never wished to be part of. One evening, while working late at the forge, Kalen heard a soft knock at his door. It creaked open, revealing a young woman with kind eyes and an air of grace. "Kalen, may I come in?" she asked, her voice soothing yet firm. "Who are you?" he questioned, surprised. "I am Eliana, a healer from the village. I sensed something powerful about you," she said, stepping closer. "It is the sword, isn't it?" Kalen nodded, feeling a mix of vulnerability and intrigue. "Yes, but I don't know what to do with it." Eliana's expression softened. "You must learn to wield it, but be warned. The path of a hero is fraught with trials and sacrifices. Are you prepared for that?" "Prepared? How can anyone be prepared for such a burden?" he replied, frustration creeping into his voice. "Courage does not mean the absence of fear," she reminded him, a spark of determination in her eyes. "It means facing it despite the uncertainty. You are not alone, Kalen. We can uncover the truth together." As they stood in the dim light of the forge, Kalen felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. Perhaps he could find strength in this unexpected ally. but doubts lingered in his mind. What if he was not meant for this role? What if the prophecy was wrong? The night deepened, and the stars twinkled above, each one a reminder of the vast unknown that lay ahead. The sword, still resting against the wall, seemed to hum with a life of its own, beckoning Kalen to embark on a journey he could hardly fathom. Would he answer its call? Kalen stood in his workshop, the weight of the ancient sword heavy on his mind. The blade, now resting against the wall, seemed to pulse with a life of its own. He could almost feel its thoughts mingling with his own. Each time he came close, a strange warmth spread through him, urging him to pick it up. Yet, alongside this warmth, a chill of uncertainty crept into his heart. As he worked, Kalen's thoughts drifted to the village elder's words. The sword is sentient, Kalen. It knows you, and it will guide you, but it demands much in return. The elder's warning echoed in his mind, deepening his internal conflict. What does it mean to wield such power? He whispered to himself. Just then, the door creaked open, and a gentle voice broke his reverie. Kalen? Ileana stepped inside, her presence both calming and unsettling. The healer had a quiet strength about her, but Kalen could see the shadows of her past lingering in her eyes. Hello, Ileana, Kalen replied, forcing a smile. What brings you here? I felt something, she said hesitantly, glancing at the sword. It's powerful, isn't it? I can sense its energy. Kalen nodded, his stomach tightening. It is, but it also feels heavy. I don't know if I am the one who should wield it. Ileana stepped closer to the sword, her gaze fixed on the blade. You must understand, Kalen, it does not come without a price. Those who wield such power often face great sacrifices. Her words hung in the air like a warning. Kalen swallowed hard, remembering the village elder's prophecy. What kind of sacrifices? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Loss, she replied, her tone thick with emotion. I lost my family to darkness once. I don't want anyone else to face that pain. Ileana's voice trembled as she spoke, and Kalen could see the memories flashing behind her eyes. Your family, Kalen began, but Ileana raised a hand to stop him. Please, I don't want to talk about it. I just want you to be careful. She took a step back, her expression a mix of fear and determination. The sword has a history, Kalen, one that is tied to my family. What do you mean? Kalen asked, curiosity piqued. Ileana hesitated, her gaze dropping to the floor. Long ago, my ancestors were guardians of this land. They wielded the sword to protect Eldoria, but in their quest for power, they fell. The sword, it carries that burden. It remembers. Kalen felt a cold shiver run down his spine. So, it's not just a weapon. It's a reminder of failure. Yes, Ileana said, her voice softening. And that is why I worry for you. You must not repeat their mistakes. You need to learn how to wield it wisely. Kalen took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her words. I want to protect my village, but I fear what that might cost me. Ileana stepped closer, her eyes searching his. Then we must uncover the truth together. We need to understand the sword's past before you take on its burden. He nodded slowly, a sense of resolve building within him. You're right. We must learn its history. Let's start with the stories from the village, Ileana suggested, her voice gaining strength. I can help you. We can visit the elder together. Kalen felt a flicker of hope. Thank you, Ileana. I don't think I could do this alone. As they left the workshop, Kalen felt the sword's presence behind him, a silent witness to their pact. The path ahead was uncertain, but with Ileana by his side, he felt a little less burdened. Together, they would face the weight of the sword and the shadows of the past. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows on the ground, but Kalen and Ileana walked forward, ready to uncover the truth that lay hidden in the heart of Eldoria. As the sun rose over Eldoria, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Kalen stood in the clearing near the colossal tree. He gripped the hilt of the ancient sword, feeling its weight in his hand. Each day, he trained to master its power, but the burden of responsibility pressed heavily on his heart. Today, he faced more than just the sword's challenges. Bandit attacks had become a real threat to his village. "Eliana!" Kalen called out, scanning the forest for her familiar figure. He heard rustling leaves, and soon she emerged, her long hair flowing like a river of gold in the morning light. "I'm here," she replied, her voice steady but soft. "Are you ready for today?" Kalen nodded, though doubt lingered in his mind. "I'm trying, but it feels like the more I train, the less I understand." Eliana stepped closer, concern etched on her face. "You are not alone in this. We will face whatever comes together." As they began their training, the sounds of clashing metal echoed through the woods. Kalen swung the sword, feeling its energy surge through him. Each strike felt powerful, but each moment of hesitation reminded him of the weight of his choices. Suddenly, a loud crash broke their concentration. The ground trembled as a group of bandits appeared, charging toward them with wild shouts. Kalen's heart raced. "Eliana, stay behind me!" he shouted, raising the sword. "No, Kalen, we fight together!" she insisted, stepping forward with determination. The bandits advanced, brandishing crude weapons. Kalen and Eliana stood side by side, ready to defend their home. With each swing of the sword, Kalen felt the connection between them grow stronger. Eliana's movements were graceful, her healing skills proving vital as she tended to any wounds during the chaos. After a fierce battle, they managed to drive the bandits away, but not without feeling the toll of their efforts. Kalen leaned against a tree, panting heavily. "That was too close," he said, wiping sweat from his brow. Eliana knelt beside him, her breath shaky. "We did it, Kalen, but I can't help but wonder, what if next time it's worse?" He looked into her eyes, searching for the right words. "We will be ready, I promise. But I cannot shake this feeling that I am not enough." Eliana placed a hand on his shoulder. "You are more than just the sword. You have a strength in your heart that guides you. Trust in that." As they caught their breath, a moment of silence enveloped them. Kalen felt a warmth blossom in his chest, but it was quickly overshadowed by the weight of the decisions he faced. "I have to ask you something," he said, gathering his courage. "If it came down to it, would you choose to save a friend or pursue more power?" Eliana's expression turned serious. "That is a heavy question. Power can corrupt, Kalen, but saving a friend, that is the essence of who we are." He nodded, grateful for her insight. "I fear I may have to choose that path soon. The village depends on me. And your choices shape not just your destiny, but ours," she replied softly, her eyes reflecting understanding. "Whatever happens, we will face it together. You don't have to carry this burden alone." Kalen felt a swell of gratitude for Eliana. Their bond had grown deeper through shared struggles and vulnerabilities. "Thank you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "for being by my side." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the ground, Kalen and Eliana sat together, contemplating the trials ahead. The path before them was uncertain, but one thing was clear. They would face it united, drawing strength from one another. Though the weight of their choices loomed large, they found solace in the connection they had forged, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the heart of Eldoria. Dark clouds gathered over Eldoria, casting long shadows across the village. The air felt heavy, as if the earth itself held its breath in anticipation. Kalen stood by the forge, the ancient sword at his side, its presence a constant reminder of the danger that lurked beyond the horizon. Eliana approached, her expression serious. "Kalen, have you noticed the changes in the air?" she asked, her voice low. He nodded, gripping the hilt of the sword. "It feels wrong. Something is coming." Just then, a distant roar echoed through the valley, causing the ground to tremble. The villagers looked up, fear etched on their faces. Kalen's heart raced. He had faced challenges before, but this felt different. "We need to prepare," he said, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. Aliana placed a hand on his arm. "What if it's him? The one from the stories?" Kalen swallowed hard. The stories spoke of an old enemy, a dark sorcerer named Malakar, who had once threatened their land. "We have to be ready for anything," he replied, determination rising within him. As night fell, Kalen and Aliana gathered with the village leaders. They discussed strategies and defenses, but doubt lingered in the air. Kalen could see the worry in Aliana's eyes. "What if we can't stop him?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "We will," Kalen assured her, though he felt the weight of uncertainty. "Together, we have the strength." The meeting ended, and Kalen walked Aliana back to her home. The moonlight illuminated her face, highlighting the concern etched in her features. "Aliana, I know this is difficult," he began, searching for the right words. "But we must believe in our abilities. We can't let fear dictate our choices." "I know," she replied softly, looking down. "But what if protecting the village means losing you?" Kalen paused, the gravity of her words sinking in. "If I have to fight, I will. But I won't fight just for the village. I'll fight for you too." Aliana met his gaze, a flicker of hope shining through her worry. "And what if it's not enough?" He reached out, taking her hand in his. "Then we will find another way. We can negotiate, find a way to bring peace without bloodshed." But deep down, Kalen felt the tension of loyalty pulling at him. The village had always been his home, and he had sworn to protect it. Yet, his heart whispered of a different path, one where he could also safeguard Aliana's future. As the days passed, the tension in the village grew. Rumors spread of Malakar's approach, and with each passing hour, Kalen's resolve was tested. He trained tirelessly, the sword's energy guiding him, but doubt crept into his mind. One evening, standing on a hill overlooking Eldoria, he felt the weight of his choices. Aliana joined him, her presence a comfort amidst the storm. "Kalen, what are you thinking about?" she asked, sensing his turmoil. "I'm torn," he admitted, staring into the distance. "I want to protect everyone, but I don't know the cost." Aliana stepped closer, her eyes searching his. "What if we lose everything? What if it's not just about the fight, but about the choices we make?" Kalen turned to her, feeling the gravity of her words. "I can't let fear guide me. I have to stand up for what's right, even if it means facing Malakar head on." "Then we face him together," Aliana replied firmly, her hand finding his. Their hands entwined, Kalen felt a surge of strength. "Together," he echoed. But the night was filled with uncertainty, and as they prepared for the coming storm, Kalen sensed that a heart-wrenching decision lay ahead. Would he choose the village or the love he felt for Aliana? The shadows loomed closer, and the time for choice was approaching. As dawn broke, a chilling wind swept through Eldoria, carrying whispers of a dark future. Kalen took a deep breath, ready to confront whatever came next. The fight for their home was about to begin, and with it, the choices that would shape their destinies. As dawn broke over Eldoria, the air was thick with tension. The village prepared for the final battle against the dark enemy that threatened their lives. Kalen stood with Aliana and their allies on the edge of the forest, their hearts pounding in unison. The sword, now a part of him, glimmered ominously in the morning light, echoing the weight of his destiny. "Are you ready?" Aliana asked, her voice a mixture of strength and fear. She met his gaze, her emerald eyes reflecting the uncertainty that lay ahead. Kalen nodded, but his heart raced. I have to be. For the village. For you. He tightened his grip on the hilt of the sword, feeling its pulse resonate with his own. Memories of their journey together flashed in his mind, the laughter they shared, and the tears they shed. Those moments felt fragile now, like glass ready to shatter. As they moved forward, their small group of allies gathered around them. Among them was Finn, a brave archer, and Lyra, a fierce warrior. They exchanged looks of determination, yet Kalen could see the worry etched on their faces. Remember our plan, Finn spoke, breaking the silence. We strike hard and fast. We can't let them gain ground. He was confident, but Kalen could sense the underlying fear that gripped them all. Yes, but we must also protect the villagers, Lyra added, her voice steady. If we lose sight of that, we lose everything. Kalen felt the weight of their words. The village had already suffered too much, and he could not bear the thought of losing anyone else. But deep down, he also felt a different weight, the burden of the sword and what it demanded from him. As they approached the enemy's stronghold, Kalen's thoughts drifted back to the prophecy. The words of the village elder echoed in his mind. The sword chooses its hero. But was he worthy? Could he truly be the one to save Eldoria? Suddenly, Eliana stepped closer, her hand brushing against his. Kalen, I know you are scared. We all are. But we must trust each other and fight for what we believe in. Her voice was soft, yet it carried a strength that reassured him. I wish I could just be a blacksmith again, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. This is all so much more than I ever wanted. Eliana looked deeply into his eyes. But you are more than a blacksmith now. You are our hope. In that moment, Kalen felt a surge of courage. He understood that his journey had led him to this point, and he could not turn back. He had to embrace the hero within him, even if it frightened him. As they reached the clearing before the enemy's fortress, the ground trembled with the sounds of battle. The enemy emerged, dark figures against the rising sun, their eyes burning with hatred. Kalen's heart raced as he raised his sword, the energy flowing through him, igniting a fire of determination. Remember why we fight, Kalen shouted to his friends. For our home, for our future. The group charged forward and the battle erupted around them. Kalen felt the sword guiding him. Each swing felt both natural and powerful. He fought fiercely alongside Eliana, their movements synchronized as if they were two halves of the same whole. But amidst the chaos, a moment of stillness struck him. He caught a glimpse of Eliana, her face etched with determination as she healed a wounded ally. In that instant, he realized the true cost of this fight. If they won, what would be left of them? As the battle raged on, Kalen faced the enemy leader, a figure cloaked in shadows. The air crackled with tension as they circled each other. You think you can save them? You are just a boy playing at heroism, the enemy taunted, his voice dripping with malice. Kalen's heart pounded. I may be a boy, but I fight for something greater than myself. With a roar, he charged forward, the sword glowing brighter than ever. And in that moment, he made his choice. He would not just fight for Eldoria, he would fight for every life that depended on him, including Eliana's. As the clash of swords filled the air, Kalen felt stronger than he ever had. He knew that no matter the outcome, he would face his destiny head-on, ready to embrace whatever sacrifices lay ahead. As the first light of dawn broke over Eldoria, the village lay in a quiet stillness. The battle had ended, but its echoes lingered in the hearts of the people. Kalen stood at the edge of the village, gazing out at the remnants of the night's struggle. He felt the weight of the sword at his side, a symbol of both victory and loss. A new day begins, he whispered to himself, the words heavy with meaning. He could see the villagers starting to emerge from their homes, their faces marked by weariness but also a flicker of hope. Eliana approached him, her expression soft, yet determined. "Kaylin," she said, her voice steady. "We need to help them. They need us now more than ever." Kaylin nodded, feeling a surge of purpose. "You're right. We have to rebuild." He turned to her, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you for being by my side. I couldn't have done this without you." Eliana smiled, a warmth spreading through her. "We did this together. We will continue to do this together." She looked towards the village square, where scattered remnants of the battle lay. "Let's start by clearing the debris and helping those in need." As they moved through the village, Kaylin and Eliana worked side by side. They lifted broken beams and cleared away stones, their hands working tirelessly. The villagers watched them, drawing strength from their leadership. "Kaylin!" a voice called from the crowd. It was Elder Rowan, his face lined with age, but his spirit unbroken. "You have shown great courage and strength. The village looks to you now." Kaylin felt a rush of emotion as he faced the elder. "I am just one person. We all have a role to play in this. Together, we can heal Eldoria." Elder Rowan nodded, pride shining in his eyes. "You are a leader now, Kaylin. Accept it. We need your guidance." With Elder Rowan's words echoing in his mind, Kaylin turned to Eliana. "I can't do this alone. Will you stand with me as we lead our people?" "Always," she replied, her voice unwavering. "We will guide them through this, together." As the sun rose higher, the village began to come alive with effort. Kaylin and Eliana organized groups to help rebuild homes and mend fences. They shared stories and laughter, reminding everyone that they were not alone in this fight. Later, as the village gathered in the square, Kaylin stepped forward. "Thank you all for your strength. We faced darkness together, and we emerged stronger. Now, let us rebuild Eldoria, not just as a place, but as a community." The villagers cheered, their spirits lifting with each word. "We will rebuild!" they shouted, their voices mingling in a chorus of hope. Eliana joined Kaylin at the front, her eyes shining with determination. "We will honor those we lost by creating a future filled with love and connection. Let us cherish our memories and support each other." Kaylin glanced at her, feeling a deep sense of connection. "Together, we can create a new dawn for Eldoria, a place where everyone can feel safe and valued." As the crowd erupted in applause, Kaylin realized that the journey ahead would be long and challenging. But he felt ready. He understood now that true heroism lay not just in wielding a sword or facing battles, but in the bonds forged through shared struggles and the courage to support one another. That evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, Kaylin and Eliana sat on a hill overlooking the village. They watched as the lights flickered on in the homes below, a sign of life returning. "I never thought I could feel so strong," Eliana said softly, resting her head on Kaylin's shoulder. "It's as if we are creating something beautiful from the ashes." Kaylin wrapped his arm around her. "It is beautiful, and it's only the beginning." In the warmth of their shared resolve, Kaylin reflected on his journey. He had discovered that love, sacrifice, and connection were the true essences of heroism. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to embrace their destinies and lead Eldoria into a hopeful future. Share this story if you believe that love and unity can conquer even the toughest challenges. Leave a comment about a time when you found strength in community, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales like this one.